Hey, you're listening to No Limits, episode 33, and it's actually on my real microphone, not my webcam mic like last week, and Sony just had a state of play, so now I'm going to play the intro. Bree and Sammy here. Okay, bye. All right, guys, my screen froze for the majority of the intro, so I assumed it played. I just caught the end. Great. Off to a great start.
I was
All
in
right.
complete silence, by the way. They didn't play at all for me, so I just assume everything's fine. Everything's fine. Look,
Right.
let's not peel the curtain back. We are professionals here, right?
Oh, yeah.
Wildly professional, yeah.
Uh-huh.
It took everything in me to not yell something during the intro. Ever since Kevin and I discovered that we can talk during the intro, I've always wanted to do it. And Kevin's he's like, I always watch you now just in case you unmute. Which I unmuted. I had my this muted, but I was just seeing if somebody was paying attention, and I didn't yell, but I almost did.
Anyway. Well, let me do this extended intro. Once again, hello everyone. My name is Taylor, and I'm joined by my co-hosts Brianna and Sam, and you're listening to No Limits, a PlayStation podcast, episode 33. Remember, you can find the video version of this pod over on youtube.com/SaveTheGameMedia every Tuesday. And while you're over there, make sure to subscribe to the channel. If you'd rather listen to audio, we are on all your favorite podcast services, and would love it if you could leave us a review. It helps us grow. We would love any feedback. If you want to support and get early access to all Save the Game Media content, head over to patreon.com/SaveTheGameMedia and choose the tier that's right for you, just like our current patrons did: Bucky Blue, Hopple, Alpaca Tom, Aman, Fabulous Brianna, Brianna's mom, Brianna's brother, Brianna's wife, Nikolai at Night, Cypher Primus, Brendan Myers, Marcus O'Neill, Lillian, Mimi J, the Snack Network, David Hotright, Dave Harp, and the Xbox Expansion Pass. And you can also check out our YouTube, like I previously stated, and interact with us on the Discord. Link is in the show notes. And yeah, check us out on the Discord. There's we talk there and make fun of each other, and it's great. And so yeah, how are you guys? Sam disappeared from me again. How are you guys doing today?
I'm well. I can confirm not disappearing. I am here. I am present. I'm much better than the other week. When we did the state of play reaction, I was quite coldy. Still am a little bit, but I'm coming out the other end. And yeah, I'm very busy, so I'm quite tired, but probably not as tired as Brianna.
I don't know what you're talking about.
No, man.
I sleep normal hours. Yeah, no. So I had a lot to do last night. No, I didn't. I just wanted to do stuff last night. Yeah, no. So I'm functioning on 3.5 hours, I think, of sleep-ish. Maybe 3. I don't know. But I will take a nap later, so it's fine. It's all good. But yeah, other than that,
dedication to the cause.
Yeah. No, other than that, I'm pretty good. I think I'm mostly over my jet lag and now just back on my weird sleep schedule, which is to not sleep. I had a freaking crazy day at work and I can't talk about it. But I had probably the worst day of work I've ever had on Friday. You're muted, Taylor.
I was muted. I was about to say, we're going to talk about that offline. I want to hear about how horrible it was.
It was probably the worst day I've ever had, terms of work. So,
do you still have a job?
Oh yeah, I do have a job, and I even my supervisor says I wasn't actually. She's like, you're not in trouble. But yeah, just drama.
Well,
so
speaking of work, I just started working Friday. Had orientation and then went to my office for a couple hours and went home. But I hope I get direct set up no later than Monday. That is my goal.
Congrats on starting your new job.
Thanks.
That was my little baby clap.
But my team's really welcoming, which is great. Which, I don't know. If they're
Unlike
really-
us.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And
Yeah.
We're just jerks.
yeah. Oh, I also have an apple, which I'll be eating periodically while you guys are talking. So you have that added pressure today.
That's totally fine. You can like chew off of the mic, but like just make sure you get like the real crunch. You know what I mean?
Also, I haven't played anything again this past week. I was supposed to get a TV. I'm supposed to get a TV today. If Best Buy actually, okay, I told Sam this, but okay, I ordered this nice TCL 6 Series TV, which is supposed to be like best of the best when it comes to like budget TVs, so to speak, for next gen. The store I ordered it from pickup for said they had one left in stock. It was preparing for pickup on Best Buy's website for over 3 hours last night, and it still says preparing for pickup now. I think there's a moderate chance they don't have it in stock and just showed an inventory on their website.
So my real question, because usually why that happens is because like somebody's stolen it.
Oh, hell yeah.
So who has stolen a giant TV?
Someone
That's
stole
my real
TV.
question.
It's okay. If for some reason I can't procure the TV, I'll force them, Best Buy, to do it online, to order it from a shipping warehouse. But then I have to be there to sign for it, and I work 5 days. This is why I'd rather pick it up.
This week I got a giant box in the mail. I ordered like $500 worth of books. It came in the mail. It was so heavy, but it's in my bookshelf now, so we're all good. There goes my camera again. All good. But yeah, that's the other thing I did. It was really heavy to carry up the stairs, 2 flights of stairs. But yeah. I also got these headphones. They're the
Noise.
Skull Candy Crusher.
Skull Candy is such a 2010 brand, man.
I have like 2 other headphones that I use regularly, but these have a lot of bass, and I'm like addicted to bass. So they're not working great on my computer, but they work great on my PlayStation 5, and they're working great on my phone. So I'm happy. I
That's
just
what
don't have
matters.
Bluetooth.
Yeah.
I just don't have Bluetooth on my PC. So
Gotcha.
Anyways.
You guys been playing anything? Because I haven't.
I have. I'm almost done with Dead Space. I'm like literally in the final chapter. I will beat it. I'm just kind of bugged right now. And then I started Harry Potter. And I'm like, think 7 hours in. And then I started the Wolong demo. I think I'm about 2 hours into that. Got to like the second phase on the first boss.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, that's what I've been playing.
I've played quite a bit actually. In the past week or however long it's been since I've been on No Limits. I have officially crossed Badge of Honor, the 200 platinum mark. It's done. The struggle to get there, it's over. I can
What was
stop.
the 200th game?
I had intended, I think I said this about a month or two ago, I had intended for it to be Crash Bandicoot 4, mainly just because it's an extremely difficult platinum, and I kind of just wanted, I was talking to Bree about this a while back, but my 50th, 100th, 150th have all been either something that is difficult or something that means a lot to me in terms of a game that I find really special. So it's like 200, let's go for a really, really, really tough one, make it an actual achievement. Wasn't Crash Bandicoot 4, still working on it slowly but surely, but it ended up being Hogwarts Legacy, by virtue of me having to cover it for work. It just meant that was where the cookie crumbled. And 100th. Being said, I am technically, as of recording, on 206 platinums. So I have got 6 since that point, or 5, no 6 since that point, because Hogwarts was 200. So
Chill.
I'm on 200.
Oh my
Oh
god.
my God. I don't even know if I've ever
Um,
played 206 video games.
I don't even
ever.
know if I know that, like, even half that many people. Like, no, just acquainted with. So
Yeah. Well, you know, I've had a lot of time in recovery where I can do nothing but lie down. So that is my excuse. Although, to be fair, probably about 192 of them came before I had my surgery. So that's not really an excuse at all. I have been playing something mainly for the past week that I cannot talk about. I will inevitably over the coming weeks and months having a there, you know, again for work. That's why I'm playing it and can't talk about it. But yeah, that's sorry I can't give more information.
I like the idea that
But
it
you
like
will.
it's not for work and you just don't. You're like, I'm just not going to talk about it.
I'm
Just be a
just a very
jerk.
mysterious man. I don't, you know, I
Oh
leave
yeah,
everyone guessing.
mysterious. I see.
Yeah.
I see. Okay, yeah.
That's what it is.
I know what it is.
Do you?
It's
It's Spider-Man 2. I'm sorry, everyone. Okay, Insomniac. They're getting that game. It's a really great game. They've given it to me super early. I can't tell you any of the story stuff, but
it's
that's what it is.
it is
He's trying really hard.
the game of all time.
Yeah, it is. Yep, that is correct.
Taylor.
The one. Yep.
Nice. What?
Nothing. Nothing. I said nothing.
Yeah, you just said nothing. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay.
So, cool. My co-host Sam is on standby.
I'm here. I'm good to go as always.
Oh, you know what I just realized? I haven't brought a new vegetable to the table for a while. I'll have to
We
get on
we
that.
don't need to talk about that.
Pete is gonna get down on you if you don't do it soon.
I know. I'm like really tempted to just get that like shark horse thing
What?
for no reason because it just looks so weird.
A seahorse? No, shark
No, it's
horse.
a shark horse. Yeah, so it's a shark with horse legs.
What is this, like a take on a seawater take on a centaur?
I don't know, kind of. Yeah, it's like the hippogriff of the ocean. You know what I mean?
I really hope I muted in time for you guys to not hear me burping.
I have no idea. I haven't heard a burp, so I assume
Great.
yes.
I'm doing a good job on mediating this. Good.
You are.
All right.
Just commit, Taylor.
Now, this past week, Bree was in for a live reaction to State of Play. Was it Thursday?
So is Sam.
Wait, Sam, you were there too?
I was there as well.
According
Wait,
to
are
Tom.
you saying you don't watch our content?
Oh
Yeah.
Huh?
no.
Yep. Yes.
But that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
Busy man
I
over there.
do.
I allow it.
So it was Bree, Sam, Kev.
And I'm on.
Is that it?
And I'm on.
Yeah.
Oh, Mom was there too. Wow.
Yeah, and if you
Yeah.
ask Tom, it was actually Sam and 3 other people.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he literally said. He's like, look at Sam and these other people.
Yep. We're all subhuman except for Sam.
This is true.
You said it, not me.
So, with all that said,
Because I'm British.
right, and we
I'm
all know
sure. Yeah,
after
that's exactly what it is.
Let's bring that into the equation.
we all know
guys.
after we're done recording, he just turns off his accent.
That is true.
You should do it just for the show. Go ahead, try.
Not
Do
even
it.
gonna
Nope,
entertain.
he is a trained
that
actor.
prospect.
You know what?
That
I'm
is
gonna be honest.
true. That is true. I could if I wanted to, but I'm
I
not
didn't point
going
it
to.
out at the time. I'll have to find it. But you did slip into an American accent one time, and I was so excited. I was like,
I'd
"Yes, we
be-
got him."
I cannot for the life of me think of when that would have been. But
You
I'll
were
take your
doing
word for
some
it.
Southern accent
Oh yeah,
for
no, I
some
think
sort of
they-
impression for an actor or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah. Oops.
All right. Anyway, there was a state of play, and there's a lot of PSVR 2 titles. All right. So that was announced first. We have the Foglands, which is a Western roguelike atmospheric horror game, releasing sometime in 2023. Green Hell VR, survival set in the Amazon rainforest, also coming out sometime this year. Synapse is a new FPS centered around guns and magic, coming to PSVR 2 2023. And Journey to Foundation is an adventure game set in the Foundation universe, also coming to PSVR 2. And the last PSVR 2 game announced was a port, the eye-tracking indie game Before Your Eyes, coming to the platform on March 10th. It's already on Steam, and I heard it's really emotional and make you cry. And we also got a new trailer for Destiny 2's Lightfall. So going out of the PSVR 2 content, we got a new trailer for Destiny 2's Lightfall expansion, which is due on February 28th, just a few days from recording. And a cool new indie title called, all right, guys, is it Chia?
It is. Nailed it.
It is Chia?
Yeah.
God, I should have been linguistics major. Releases on PS Plus in March. And also the March 2023 PS Plus titles are looking solid. Battlefield 2042, what a train wreck. You're going to get to experiment with that. PS4 and PS5. Minecraft Dungeons on PS4. And Code Vein from PS4 comes to all PS Plus tiers. And to Extra and Premium, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves, which includes updated ports of Uncharted 4 and Lost Legacy for PlayStation 5, 60 FPS, 4K, and all that jazz. Also, Ghostwire Tokyo, Rainbow Six Extraction, and Immortals Phoenix Rising, all come in extra and premium tiers. I think this is just Sony's obviously putting a lot more good content into this over the past 30 days between Horizon, Forbidden West, and now putting all these in. They're trying to convert as many essential members to, I think, extra and premium as they can. But yeah, I thought it was a solid state of play. A lot of people thought it was underwhelming. I thought it wasn't anything groundbreaking, but all good news to me.
Yeah,
I missed the nap for it, so
wow.
I mean, it's not mentioned in the story, but obviously the state of play concluded with 15 minutes of Suicide Squad footage, and that I think is the main sticking point as to why people were disappointed. I think as much as there wasn't necessarily anything super exciting in the first half, I think the fact that the second half of the show underwhelmed so much, it just left a really bad taste in people's mouths.
I think in writing the story, I completely missed Suicide Squad was in the presentation.
That kind of speaks for itself, right? It's it took up
really
the majority of the time in the show, and it's not that it's bad, because it is Rocksteady making it, but it's just ridiculously generic. It's not the kind of game that people that love Rocksteady's other games want to play, really, generally speaking. And it's another multiplayer live service game where you get free content and new additional characters for no additional cost in the future. Promised content. And do you know what other game did that? Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah.
And do you know who bought into that? I did. And do you know how well that went? Not well at all. So if Crystal Dynamics can't do it, and they are a studio that are renowned for single player narrative titles, Rocksteady are also a studio known for single player narrative titles, and they're branching out in the exact same way into a live service game. And whilst maybe I'm putting more faith into Rocksteady, especially given the additional time that they've had for development, it just doesn't look all that promising, or all that different, really, from attempts we've seen before. So,
well, say what you will about Avengers, but it's the only modern way to play with the Hulk. Hulk needs his own game.
That is true.
I was just
actually
about
that's
to talk
not
about something inappropriate.
You can play as the Hulk in Fortnite.
Oh my god!
There was a Hulk skin in Fortnite. Not that counts at all, but I'm just I'm dealing with the comment section, Taylor. I'm
You could be
just covering
Bakugo
all
in
the bases.
Fortnite. Why would you be anything but Bakugo?
Bakugan.
Yeah, there was
Oh,
a Naruto thing in there, wasn't there? In the state of play, that was
I need to watch
based on the
Naruto.
character. from
Oh, okay.
Fortnite.
I thought you were
Um,
saying that Bakugo was from Naruto, and that was the joke. And I was
No,
like,
Bakugan is
don't
from
don't
Naruto.
worry. I was making a different joke that I already made in the state of play reaction, so
yeah,
that's
but
going
it
to
was
go down
the
even better. I'm sure.
the joke was backwards because Naruto was actually there.
Naruto
So you
is
should have said One
backwards.
Piece.
How do you pronounce Naruto backwards?
Not even gonna try.
Ot.
Otaran.
Otaran. That's my next title
Yeah.
for a samurai film.
Okay.
I don't think that
I
means
like it.
anything, does it?
That being said, talking about like the PS Plus stuff, really surprising. Like this has come out of nowhere the past 2 months. Obviously, I wasn't here when you guys talked about Horizon and stuff coming to PS Plus, but for that to then be followed up by this selection, it's like, is this the precedent that you're setting going forward, or is this some kind of
Premium is still getting shafted.
just random thing?
So
yeah, I mean 100%.
Yeah.
We have stumbled across a Turkish word which means sitting. That's what Naruto backwards means.
Oh,
I knew that.
There you go.
Yeah, I eat figs. I know
I'm sure you
Turkish.
did. From the look on your face, Taylor, I'm sure you knew that.
Figs are specific to the Smyrna tree, which is only Turkish in origin.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, is it called Smyrna tree or Smyrna the? Wait, is Smyrna the region or the name of the tree? I don't know. Crap. Anyway, it comes from a tree that's Turkish. Anyway. Yeah.
Wow, that was really important. I'm glad that we know that now.
No, it's important. I need to also watch more Suicide Squad gameplay so I can dunk on it like the rest of the internet is.
Yeah.
I don't know. I miss Rocksteady Batman, dude. I loved just.
Did you run around saying I'm Batman?
Yeah. And I said, I'm wearing tights, I'm wearing tights, I'm wearing tights. And then...
I feel like you should have like interspersed it with I mean, if you're wearing tights, like, did he have a nice ass or?
Yes.
Okay, well then you just say like, damn, look at me, double cheeked up.
I always wanted to know when Bruce Wayne slept. Did he really sleep during the day? I don't think he did.
That was always my question.
By day, Batman by night. When does this guy sleep?
That was my question, because there has to be because he's like busy during the day too, right? It's not like he's just like
he's running the Amazon
chilling.
of Batman of DC effectively.
Yeah.
So. Do you really think Jeff Bezos is that busy?
I said Amazon and company scope, not in work ethic.
Yeah.
Sure.
Bruce Wayne has solid work ethic.
I hope.
When he's not busy being Batman.
Yeah. Okay.
Also, when does he have time to get with people? You know what I mean? Like, when is he getting laid? Because if he's like not even sleeping.
No, it's with Selena.
No, I'm not asking who it's with. I'm saying when he got time.
Yeah, with Selena, like after a hard night of crime fighting.
Yeah.
He better be washing the blood off, dude.
He must what?
He washing the blood off first. Ew.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, no, we can just take his suit off, and then there's only blood on his suit, not on him.
You don't think he smells musty under that suit?
You talked about washing blood off. He's wearing a suit.
That's
the blood
true.
is on the suit.
You don't think it got on his face because he's got his face?
Okay, maybe he washes his face.
Oh, okay. He got a skincare routine going.
I think he probably takes a shower. All right.
This is really important conversation to be having right now. I'm glad that we're having this discussion.
Anyway, Bree,
it's the type of content that only we can deliver. Let's be honest.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. Do you really want to talk about the dice awards, Bree?
Yeah, I did.
Or wait, do you have anything to add to the previous story? Or just like, yeah.
No, I don't have anything to add.
Okay.
As the resident VR person, the last thing I'll say is that I'm disappointed that there wasn't. I think I said this as the state of play was starting. I'm disappointed that there wasn't even something like a port of Astrobot Rescue Mission over from Team Asobi I said, wouldn't it be awesome if Half-Life Alyx was there, which I still think is possible with the tech that SVR2 has, but probably isn't coming, at least not anytime soon. Otherwise, I definitely would have heard about it by now. But the only real thing that stood out to me as someone who has played a lot of VR games, besides Before Your Eyes, but that's a port. So, if you played it before, the eye tracking and blinking, triggering, the progression of the story is cool, but it's not necessarily brand new. The only other thing is the Foglands, which looks cool. Like I like the idea of a roguelike in VR. So not that I have PSVR 2 yet, but when I do, that probably will be the one out of this list that I end up trying.
Nice.
Sounds fun. Sounds exciting. I'm gonna be honest, when you said like as the local VR expert, I was like, what if I just buy PSVR 2 first? I don't even want it, but just to like have it first.
But okay, yeah, that's fair. But I think also maybe it doesn't count for a lot, but my accumulated experience with the first PSVR 2,
okay.
I think does count for something.
Oh, okay. So my competitive spirit would be to waste. I appreciate that. Okay. Alrighty. Story 2. I wanted to talk about the DICE Awards. Did either of you guys watch this?
Nope.
No.
Okay, so I did. Like, I actually watched the full thing. It's definitely a
banger.
It's definitely an award show that was like up my alley. So I kind of wanted to like, before we like get into the list of winners really quick, I wanted to shout out like a couple of things. First of all, so Ted Price came on to the stage. He was like the first one that was like, hey guys, like we're getting the show started, whatever. And he started the award show by talking about some like really heavy topics, and I really appreciated it. Like he started talking about what was going on with Ukraine, he started talking about like the earthquakes, and he also was talking about like crunch. And he was just basically saying like there's a lot of work that needs to be done to like fix the workplace, and people need to start taking accountability and stuff like that. And he just like sat and talked about it. Just that first part was so good. Then of course like we have our hosts, and they definitely talked about the kid that got on stage. They're like, no worries guys, we've got we've got security so no strange kids will get on stage. And I couldn't stop laughing because I was like, that's so messed up. That's so messed up. Because it was the same people too, like that accepted the awards for Elden Ring. And
Right.
so oh yeah, it was great. And then Tim won.
Tim who?
Schaefer won. Like he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Which I can't believe it's taken him this long, like to get that. Like
I didn't know there was a video game Hall of Fame.
Yeah, for like the DICE Awards. I think there's probably more than one, but yeah, for the DICE Awards, there's like a Hall of Fame. And he definitely like should have been added earlier. He's very prolific. Anyways, but he was talking like when he was like doing his acceptance speech, he actually started talking about crunch, and he's like, I just wanted to apologize for all the employees like on my earlier like dev cycles that I like kind of had them go through crunch. He's like, it wasn't okay. It's still not okay. He's like, I've learned from it. And I know I can't change the past, but I just wanted to apologize for that and just know that I'm doing things differently now. Kind of thing. And I thought that was like really cool too. So, because that was during his like award acceptance speech. So, shout out to that. Anyways, here are the award winners for outstanding achievement in animation, art direction, character, original music composition, audio design, and story. That all went to God of War Ragnarok. Outstanding technical achievement was Elden Ring. Action game of the year, Vampire Survivors. Adventure game of the year, God of War Ragnarok. Family game of the year was Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Fighting game of the year was Multiverses. Racing game of the
whoa. Multiverses. You know that game lost 99% of its player count by now?
There weren't a lot of fighting games last year.
That's just the state, the sorry state
some
of the
release
genre.
Some indie fighting game that's better than Multiverses.
Yeah, but Multiverses has more like clout.
I'll tell you what, if Multiverses came out this year, Street Fighter 6 would trample it.
Of course.
Hell yeah.
I'm excited for Street Fighter. I'm gonna street fight.
Oh yeah, in real life though.
Yeah,
Just
Gonna
go to
fight in the
downtown
streets.
Washington.
against the trash can.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so then racing game of the year was Gran Turismo 7.
What?
Role-playing game of the year was Elden Ring.
What?
Sports game of the year was Ollie Ollie World.
Oh my god.
Strategy slash simulation game of the year was Dwarf Fortress.
No.
But like legit, they seemed like so nice because they were like thanks everybody who supported. I don't know, like you should like go watch their
By the
acceptance
way,
speech.
I'm just
They
doing
seem
this
cool.
to be a jerk. I actually have no objections to this list. I haven't
Oh,
played most
okay.
games in these lists anyway.
Next one is immersive reality game of the year, Red Matter 2.
Huh.
Outstanding achievement for an independent game, Tunic. Woo! I was so excited Tunic won something. Anyways, shout out to Horizon for winning nothing.
Hey.
I felt so bad because they were nominated for almost every single award. Anyways,
That's just what Horizon is, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's the thing that gets
Yeah.
First game, Breath of the
overshadowed.
Wild overshadowed it. This time,
Yep.
Elden Ring overshadowed it, and Ragnarok overshadowed it by the end of the year. It was no win
there's
situation.
like no chance for the like smaller indies to get into the award shows next year. Like almost no chance
because they have a
because
lot of
there's so
visibility
many
issues.
huge
Oh.
like games coming out this year. Like if you think about it, like
No, there isn't.
Hogwarts Legacy,
Hogwarts,
Diablo,
Final Fantasy 16,
Spider-Man
Spider-Man
2,
2,
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of
Yep.
the King. Oh god.
Yep.
Yeah.
There's gonna be no indie games in the awards. We've just got too many big games this year. Anyways, next one is mobile game of the year, Marvel Snap. Online game of the year,
Goddamn
Final
right.
Oh yeah, Sam loves his Marvel Snap.
Online game of the year was Final Fantasy 14 Endwalker.
course.
Outstanding achievement in game design, game direction, and game of the year all went to Elden Ring. This is from Adam Bankhurst.
Jeez,
at
was
IGN.
Hidetaka Miyazaki there to accept Elden Ring awards?
I don't know who it was. I think so.
He's the director of FromSoft.
Yes, he was then.
Okay.
No, yeah, I know. It's Hidetaka Miyazaki was there. I just don't know his face. So I was like, yeah, there
Oh.
was a person there because they never said like, or I don't think they said his name,
Yeah.
but yeah, I just
amongst
looked
the
it up.
Souls, amongst the
and
Souls community, his
it's
face is like a meme at this point. Like,
the only person I know, well, there's a couple game devs that I know, but the person that I know, like I can usually pull is like there's a Final Fantasy 14 dev that like is just like kind of like a meme at this point, but he's like meme in a good way, and
so is
so I always
Miyazaki.
know him.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was really awkward because he's like, I know I keep saying it, but thank you so much. It was funny.
Nice.
But
Good
yeah,
for them,
the
then.
God of War people had like every single award was accepted by somebody different.
Nice.
But for like Elden Ring, it was just like him and his translator.
I mean, he makes the games by himself, doesn't he? It's just him.
Yeah, basically. No, he
Yeah.
talked about his workers, but yeah. The other thing that was funny was like Chris Judge. Hi Luna. Chris Judge like totally was like, I'm out under 5 minutes before he like left the stage.
You got to be self-aware, man.
I know, it was
Fair
really
play
What was
to
the
funny.
joke?
Because he rambled for super long at the Game Awards when he did his speech.
Was he there to accept all Ragnarok awards?
No, he just accepted the character outstanding achievement in character went to Kratos. So Sunny was
Understandable.
there as well, but obviously Atreus didn't get the award. So
Yeah.
Next time, maybe, you know.
maybe
there
I
is a
definitely
next
agree
time.
because Chris Judge was talking about how like he kept saying like your time is coming, and it was like kind of like a cheesy phrase, but like I'm kind of excited to because Sunny is if he stays within like the games industry and is like doing a lot of voice acting work and stuff, like I think it'll be really cool to see him like age within the industry and like
I hope
see
so.
how he like his roles change.
Right.
And hopefully he wins awards eventually.
There's a lot of kid actors or teenage actors that fade away after a few years, but some that stay with it. Like, Josh Brolin and Ethan Hawke, they were in the Goonies and they wait, Ethan Hawke was not in the Goonies. He was in Dead Poet Society, but they were there teenagers in the 80s and then still in movies well through today.
Mm-hmm.
But other guys like I forget his name, the actor who played the husband in Everything Everywhere All at Once. He played one of the kids in the Goonies and then kind of out of the movie limelight, but all came back in a big way with that movie. And now he's getting calls from Marvel to be in those films because the Russo brothers directed it and those connections. But I hope he stays in the industry. I thought he was well voice acted. Bree is now gone. Now she's back.
I'm just ignoring. I'm not even going to acknowledge it because
I'll
my
acknowledge
camera
it.
is not. My camera is not going to be rewarded for acting like this.
I'll acknowledge it.
Camera said, "Notice me, senpai," and Taylor said, "Okay."
That why do you do this?
Had to make it weird.
Yeah.
All right. Cool. Let's talk about Sam's favorite franchise, Metal Gear Solid.
That's canon. That is true. Yeah. There are, ladies and gentlemen, new Metal Gear Solid 3 and Castlevania rumors. VGC's newly launched weekly podcast has mentioned that a Metal Gear Solid 3 remake and new Castlevania game are likely set to be revealed at some point this year. This is tied to a quote from Konami, not from Konami, but from VGC about Konami, saying that they are going to have a, quote, big presence at E3 this year. It's speculated that Konami may try to use this Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater remake as a testbed for future installments or future remakes of that IP. VGC has also doubled down that this year's E3, the one you want to specifically look out for that is most likely to be announced out of either Metal Gear Solid or Castlevania is Metal Gear Solid, which I think makes sense because we've heard about a Metal Gear Solid remake in some form for quite a long time now. Whether it's Metal Gear Solid 1 or 3, that's sort of been in contention a lot. It's looking like it's going to be 3. So I can see this happening. I mean, VGC is relatively solid, I think, in terms of stuff that they feel confident enough to talk about. So I guess it's time. I think the question that I would have, though, is if Konami is going to have a big presence specifically at E3, does that mean that it's not going to be at one of this PlayStation showcases? Because I would have to assume that there is some kind of, at the very least, marketing deal going on there, just due to the history of the IP. But then PlayStation isn't going to be at E3, so then we get into semantics of, do they just mean around the E3 time? I don't know.
Aren't we getting a new Castlevania? I know it's not like a true Castlevania, but there was like that weird, it's not a weird game, but like different game that was announced that was like a Castlevania mixed with something else, and I literally can't remember what it is.
Are you talking about Bloodstained?
That's what I was
No.
thinking of.
No,
Because that
because there
was
was like
from
that.
the initial
That was from
or original creator.
Of Symphony
No,
of the
no,
Night,
not
right?
Bloodstained. Yeah, Castlevania.
Oh,
game.
there was one that was shown at a Microsoft event, I think, but that was
Dead
more
Cells.
indie. Oh, right.
Yeah, the Dead Cells
there is,
Castlevania crossover.
Yeah, that's right.
That was shown at the Game Awards, I think.
Right. Yep.
Okay, so yeah, Dead Cells Return to Castlevania. Okay, so that's the Dead Cells devs then. Okay. So yeah, I mean, I have never actually played Castlevania, but I've always been really, really interested. So I would be super happy if we could get like
Okay.
a more modern Castlevania.
Yeah. So which one you're gonna want to play is Symphony of the Night is a Metroidvania. It was one of the between that and Super Metroid, they were really the games that framed the genre. But Castlevania 4, Super Castlevania 4, and the earlier Castlevanias are really linear platformers. And Castlevania 3 and Castlevania 1 are notoriously difficult as hell. I beat Castlevania 1 after like too many hours trying to get past certain sections. Don't play Castlevania 2 without an English patch. It's really a mystery game than it is an action game, if that makes sense. They're like archaic hints that don't make any sense from a Japanese translation unless you use an English patch on the ROM. But yeah, and there's Lords of Shadow for PS3, which is by all accounts, I think it's also on PC. Solid
Yeah,
Castlevania
it's pretty
title.
much everywhere, I think.
But if you want a more modern introduction to the series, I think your best bet might be either Bloodstained Curse of the Moon or Ritual of the Night.
Mm.
Even though it's
Okay.
not affiliated
I
directly with the
own one
Castlevania
of
IP.
them.
A good
Okay.
question, I
Which one I own.
suppose, is if we're hypothetically getting this new Castlevania installment at some point. I mean, it could be a remake like MGS3 seemingly is getting, but if we are going down the line of it being a new installment in the franchise, do you think it would be? And Taylor, because you probably, I assume you know a lot about, or not a lot, but some about Lords of Shadow and stuff, and what kind of game that is. Do you think it will be more old-fashioned 2D side-scrolling or 3D action?
Yeah. I think it'll be more 3D action just because with the popularity of Souls-likes and other third-person action games over the past 10 years, 10, 15 years, I think it'll reach a wider audience. And at the end of the day, Konami's in this for money, but it just, I think, aligns with the modern popular tastes in video games and what we see coming out. So I think it might be more linear than a From Software game, but I think it'll definitely be a third-person action title. Maybe, yeah, similar to Lords of Shadow, but more
You think they'll
refined.
tie in to the TV show at all?
I don't think so, because the TV show ties into like the whole Castlevania universe with different Richter and Alucard.
I haven't seen the TV show.
I'm not totally up to date on the lore or up to date on the show. I watched a few seasons of the show, but to my understanding, they kind of cross. There's intersections in the show that don't line up with how the original lore goes, if I recall correctly. But like the TV show is something more a mashup of the Castlevania universe than it is directly following XYZ events that happens in the game. Because the Castlevania timeline is all screwed up. Even though Castlevania 1 you play Simon Belmont, you're not the first in the line of Belmonts. Another Belmont came before you. I want to say it was Richter. And like in a later game, it's almost like the Star Wars thing, where the later installment takes place in an earlier chronological place. But yeah.
Okay. Cool.
But the show is worth watching. I saw at least 2 seasons of it. I thought it was well done from what I saw.
It's on my to watch list, but that list is pretty long, so
That's fair.
guess we'll see. Okay.
Yeah. All right. Oh yeah, there's I put this on here, unfortunately. But
unfortunately, you did this. I was shocked when I opened the document and this was here.
Yeah. So there's more, I don't know. It's more overall gaming awareness stuff that's, I think, interesting, especially to Nintendo, that I want to talk about just because even though we're a PlayStation-centric podcast, it's still relevant to the market. It's more Microsoft, Activision Blizzard King, ABK acquisition news. So Microsoft recently announced a deal this past week with NVIDIA to make Xbox PC titles on NVIDIA's GeForce Now streaming service, including ABK titles. GeForce Now, for those who don't know, allows you to stream a game that runs off of NVIDIA's powerful GPU hardware. So if your computer is a potato, but you have decent internet, you're able to stream a game that's on this GeForce Now network. And that game that's being streamed onto your machine, the actual hardware that's running that title is a unit with like a 4080 or a 4090 or a high tier NVIDIA graphics card. And all Microsoft Xbox PC titles available on the stream will be available on this service to use as long as you have Game Pass, to my understanding. Or actually, I don't even know if it's even if you just have Game Pass, or if you have access to an Xbox PC app, you should be able to access it on GeForce Now without getting an extra GeForce Now subscription, because GeForce Now is a subscription service by itself. But yeah, also Microsoft's Vice Chair Brad Smith said in a global market share between Xbox and PlayStation, PlayStation is 70% to Xbox is 30% in the global market share for between the two platforms currently. So Sony is outstandingly ahead of Microsoft, even with the recent traction they've gained with the series consoles and Game Pass. And Xbox and Nintendo signed a binding 10-year legal agreement to bring Call of Duty Nintendo platforms day and day with Xbox, with full feature parity between the two platforms. This will be the first time a COD title hits a Nintendo platform since 2013. And Microsoft's vice chair, like I previously said, Brad Smith, also said in a tweet that he now deleted, quote, "We've now signed a binding 10-year contract to bring Xbox games to Nintendo gamers. This is just part of our commitment to bring Xbox games and Activision titles like Call of Duty to more players and more platforms." Putting emphasis on the like part of that statement, Xbox games like Call of Duty and Activision titles opens the floodgates for Microsoft to bring potentially more to Nintendo. Maybe it's just as simple as they're bringing more Rare titles over, like they did with Banjo-Kazooie, or and their joint collaboration with GoldenEye, or maybe it's more aggressive and they actually are going to make extensive ports of other Microsoft modern first-party content. I think that part was the most interesting in my opinion. Probably the most relevant to PlayStation is the 30% market share. But what do you guys think? I know you guys
Who's playing Call of Duty on Nintendo platforms?
I'm looking forward to running this year's Call of, or whenever this comes into effect, a couple of years time, I imagine. I'm looking forward to playing that Call of Duty in what, like 260p at
I played
like 20, 15 frames a second
on the DS, right? Where you would move the reticle using the stylus on the bottom screen.
Wait, actually?
That sounds like
yes,
it's very intuitive.
I thought I was really cool because it was the only COD game that was rated teen, so I could get it without my parents. Like, I could get it behind my parents' back basically because it was rated teen. I thought it was really cool for getting it, but
yeah, that sounds so fun.
I think there's just a disconnect. Like it's
like it feels like it's like Xbox is like, see, we can play nice. Like,
yeah,
that's all this feels like.
All it reads as is that, because, and I'm generalizing, I'm very, very, very widely generalizing, but I don't think that Nintendo's core audience cares about Call of Duty, and they never have. Or if they did, then they own an additional console alongside the Switch.
Right, but
they
this
don't.
Is more of
they don't want to play those types of games on the Switch necessarily.
Right. I think it's
that can change.
I don't think I know a single person that only owns a Switch.
I think I know people who only own the Switch. They just Animal Crossing machines, and they're pretty casual.
Yeah, exactly. So not going to be playing Call of Duty anytime soon.
I think it was more flaunting.
So yeah, I think it is just Xbox being like, they're going to take any avenue they can get to appear as, and they're going to be like, Nintendo, what do you want? Do you want Call of Duty? And they're like, oh, I guess. And then they're like, okay, you can have Call of Duty. Don't you worry. I got you sorted.
I just love that Nintendo's playing along with this. Like,
yeah, it's just,
Nintendo's just like, sure.
I mean, it's a win-win, I guess, for Nintendo.
I don't know how it's a win for Nintendo.
Maybe not. Because they're probably going to get trashed for how badly the ports are going to run. Now, obviously, by the time that this comes into effect and the games have these ports made, we're talking probably a couple of years down the line. So technically there could be like a new version of the Switch that is more powerful out by that point. But even then, I'm still not sure that it's going to be potent enough. I mean, I know like the Steam Deck exists, and that has a fair amount of power to it, but even then, you're talking about relative restrictions, to put it mildly, especially when running super high end AAA stuff. So feature parity, that's great. Day and date, that's also great, but it's not going to run as well. So it's like, no,
So
I don't.
So here's what I imagine happened in the meeting room. They're like, "Hey, Nintendo, you want Call of Duty?" And they're like, "No, why would we want Call of
Please
Duty?"
take Call of Duty, please.
And then Xbox said, they're like, "Well, we'll give you Call of Duty if you just say that we're nice to you." They're like, "I guess." So they get Call of Duty for free. And all they have to do is just say, "Yeah, Xbox was really nice and they cooperated with us."
Yeah. So it's like, and it's not like me saying this, what I'm about to say it's not a console war-y fanboy thing, but it is, especially with like the tweets that a lot of Microsoft higher ups are putting out, being like, "Oh, look, Sony are way ahead of us. Oh, look, we're trying to be really nice, doing this, doing that." It is wreaking a little bit of desperation, and I understand, like, I get it, because they really want this to go through, and it's been so long since this process started, so I get it. But also, I think you're not necessarily doing yourself any favors by presenting that kind of image. You know, not that you necessarily want to make yourself look strong, because that might dissuade people from letting you put this deal through, but I think there's also another end to that extreme, and I think that Xbox are maybe slipping a little bit too uncomfortably close to that other extreme, where they're really looking like they're trying to look bigger than they actually are. So it's weird. It just continues to get weirder.
Yep.
This fight carries on.
I think it's probably gonna keep getting weirder. I'm just
100%.
I'm just curious to see where it goes. They're like, "Hey, we'll twerk if you like let us buy this."
Game Pass is coming to Switch, everybody. You watch.
It might.
Yeah, I'm being serious. Like, it might.
That would
They
be
want it
so
everywhere.
great.
They want it on your phone. They want it on your fridge.
Yeah. Put it on PlayStation. Why not? Let's do it.
I am very tired. I was just about to say something inappropriate. All right. Number 5 on the story list. Capcom has confirmed via Twitter that Resident Evil 4 Remake will have a VR mode, and it will be free DLC for PlayStation 5's PSVR 2. This comes from their Resident Evil 4 Twitter at bio_official.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. As
Yay,
someone
Sam.
who played the entirety of Resident Evil 7 to Platinum in VR.
I still can't believe you did that.
How do you not get scared? Like, I had to put down Resident Evil 7 in the regular game because I couldn't handle it.
Your first thought was, how do you not get scared? My first thought was, how do you not get sick?
First one, I'm just that macho of a man. Second one, a lot of experience inside a VR headset. That's all it takes. For most people,
manly and experienced in PSVR 2.
Just yeah. I haven't played 8 in VR.
I love.
Still intend to at some point. But yeah, to think of playing through not only Resident Evil 4, which is a great game, but also the remake, which we hope is going to be the definitive best ever version of it in VR. That's dope.
From what I
for it to be free.
hear, like 4 is supposed to be like the Resident Evil
of all time.
Oh, it is.
So if this remake hits as hard as the other two, then this is like gonna be like the Resident Evil experience.
Better hit on fantasy. We just took that massive L at Atomic Heart. Oh my god.
It was still positive points, right?
Yeah, it was still positive points.
Yeah, that was a smart counter pick by Tom and Amon.
My favorite is that they were like negative. Let me go look. They were like negative 7 points before they got points.
Yeah,
they're in the
They're
lead
now
right now
at 20 points. Who's in the lead?
Resident Evil 4 remake hits though. We'll be back on top.
Yeah,
Yes.
like
Uh,
I genuinely don't see Resident Evil 4 being below
85. No,
94.
80.
Yeah.
I'd say being below an 83 is almost impossible.
I'd say
Um,
being below 93 is impossible.
Whoa, Sam. All right. All right. Metroid Prime
'Cause
Remastered, like
just-
94.
wait. Dead Cells Return to Castlevania comes out on the 6th of March.
That's gonna be good. Who got that?
X Talk.
Yeah, of
That's
course
smart.
it is.
They have the next 3 games. So they have Destiny 2 Lightfall, Wolong, and Dead Cells Return to Castlevania.
We still got a lot of our heavy hitters left to go, though.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not
So-
saying that we don't. Yeah, so we had they've had 2 games come out and they're at 30 points. The Frame by Frame / I Hate My Friends team have had 3 games come out and then one of their counter picks hit, and that's 20 points. And then we've had 3 games come out and we're at 28 points.
Wait, we're bleeding frame by frame by 8 points?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought we were in
They
line.
have -7.
Wait, their total score is -7?
No, they
Yeah.
have 20, so they would have 27 points.
Oh, guys, I'm
or I
definitely
guess
scared
if they didn't have a negative.
of
anyways.
Pikmin 4's counter pick on our end. Oh man.
Yeah, that is a little scary, but like it was kind of like we just had to make a decision.
It's a
And
turkey
also-
shoot. You know, you're going to hit something with those lists. So it's sort of,
Yeah.
we went for one that was the most unknown quantities at the time. So, you know,
What can you
what
do?
can you do?
Mhm.
All right. Anyway, back to not Fantasy Critic.
PSVR 2 players
Yeah.
are reporting issues with their Sense controllers. Both Eurogamer and PSVR 2 Redditors have corroborated that many users are reporting right Sense controller issues. User noted that button presses on the right controller are not registered in games. This is in contrast to on the main PS5 menu, where the buttons on the right controller seem to work just fine. Noted fixes thus far have included controller resets, turning the PS5 off and on, and even just button mashing until an input is registered. Some users have noted problems with the left controller too, but they seem to be less widespread. And there are certain games, notably Gran Turismo 7 and Thumper VR, which are reportedly unaffected.
I just wanted to let people know that it exists. I don't really have
Yeah,
anything
it's
to
par for the
besides that.
course, I think.
Yeah.
Like, particularly when you have the very first wave of any peripheral, typically there is an issue, whether it's the Dual Sense or the Dual Shock 4 before. Even I know it's ancient tech when the original VR came up, but the PS3 controllers to use, they were notoriously bad. I had tons of issues over the years with tracking and stuff like that. Inputs not registering, battery failure, like super quick, that kind of thing. So it's annoying, but I think anybody that buys into the initial release of anything from any system should really be anticipating some kind of technical issues, and then be, genuinely surprised and pleased when there isn't. There'll be growing pains. I'm sure that Sony will do something relatively quick to rectify this one way or another, whether that's sending it in for repairs or being swapped out for a new one. They've typically been pretty good about that. So if you are having really bad issues with one of your Sense controllers, get in touch with PlayStation support, and there's probably one method or another that they can do to help you resolve it.
I'm so glad that I don't have to deal with it, because then they'd be like mailing the controller, and I don't mail things.
What?
Yeah.
Let's talk about this.
I
Bree,
have very strong
okay.
feelings about
All right,
mailing things.
Let me just tell you about something, okay? Whatever you want to mail, if you just bring it to the post office, as long as you know the person you want to mail it to, you can get everything done there. Get the boxer envelope you need, or padded envelope. They'll weigh it there. They'll get you the postage you need. You can choose what speed you want to ship it. All there. at the post office. There is nothing you need to do at your home to ship an item, as long as you can locate the local post office and go there. Now, why is this intimidating?
I don't know.
See, well, I'm intimidated of hanging items on my walls. This is my first time I'm going to do it. I'm really scared, guys. So maybe this is similarly an ill-founded.
I don't know. I
fear.
will literally do almost anything to avoid mailing something. Like, I have Christmas presents still because I don't want to mail them.
Why?
Jesus.
All right, no, why?
I don't know. This is just like one thing that I just can't handle.
Okay, ready? Bree, next time you and I see each other in person, we're gonna
Oh,
take a stroll
okay.
down wherever it is. We're gonna take a stroll down to the local post office, and
I
we're
think
gonna
we'll be in New
mail
York, probably.
and we're
Actually, I
gonna
guess it
mail an
depends.
item from New York to your residence in California to yourself, and we're gonna do it together as training wheels. Okay?
I have mailed stuff before.
Oh,
I
all
just
right.
really don't like doing it. Like, if it's like, if I buy something, like if I buy like an item of clothing or shoes or whatever, and it like requires a return, I literally like have to give it to somebody else to return for me because I just can't.
I ship my
Otherwise, I'll
PS
just eat the cost.
I shipped my PS5 2,500 miles. Would you
Oh
rather
God,
gotten a new PS5 than mailed your PS5 to yourself?
probably. No,
Oh
I
my
would
God.
have just like held it like on the plane with me
Well, I'm
or
about to ship my
something.
PC to myself, Bree. How about that?
Oh God, that stresses me out.
I just like watching a reaction.
Anyways,
All right.
yeah, so I'm sorry for the people that have this issue with the PSVR 2 controllers because you probably have to mail something, and I feel bad.
What?
You'll be fine.
Yeah, it'll be fine. Like I mailed in my left
Okay,
Joy-Con to
wait, I have a
Nintendo.
great example of this. Okay, so I had a day one Switch, right?
Yeah, I mailed my
Mm.
left Joy-Con to Nintendo, and they fixed it and gave it back.
Day one Switch, both my Joy-Cons were having issues.
Skill issue.
So I told my dad that he could have my Switch, but he would have to mail it into Nintendo to get it fixed. And he was
Whoa,
like, okay.
it's
So
not
I
the
just
Switch.
bought a new Switch.
It's not the Switch. It's the Joy-Con.
But then what?
Wait,
Hang on. Wait. So what would happen then if the next Switch you bought? It's like, Dad, do you want another Switch?
It actually
Yeah.
Or
did
would you?
happen.
So then what?
Oh
So
no.
I know I still have my second Switch. I just bought a new controller. I just gave up.
So, wait. So why didn't you do that the first time?
That's a really good question.
Oh, right. Yeah, you didn't have to replace the Switch. You just could have replaced the Joy-Con. Granted, it's $40, but it's a lot better than $300 US.
Listen, my
We're
dad
working
wanted to
through some issues here.
Oh
This is
yeah,
just-
Right.
exactly.
All
But
right,
also
Bree.
like my dad wanted a Switch, and so I was like, "Oh, this will be like a nice thing, and I don't have to deal with it."
I'm gonna send you a picture of me hanging my first picture on the wall, and it'll be motivation for you to go mail things. Okay.
seconds before disaster. Nail.
Hope security
Wait, how are you
deposits.
gonna take this picture?
My phone?
Yeah, but like, are you gonna put it on timer? Or are you gonna?
What? No. I already have the picture frame ready to be hung up.
No. That's not what I'm asking. I'm saying if you're using both hands to hang a picture, how are
I'm gonna
you
show you the
taking
hung
a
picture on my
photo?
wall.
Oh, okay, I see. Okay.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I thought you were taking a photo like posing.
Oh no. That's no. Okay.
Now you understand my confusion.
All right. Yeah.
Wait, really quick, I'm actually kind of upset about this. So Frame by Frame / I Hate My Friends team have Mortal Kombat 12. They just picked
This is
that
confirmed
up.
this year.
Yeah, it just
I mean,
barely got
what-
confirmed.
Yeah.
It says 2023.
I know it does.
But
I wonder
that
if
that's all
doesn't
it
mean
says.
it's
I wonder if we
coming
should
out this
counterpick it.
year necessarily.
I wonder if we should counterpick it.
Maybe.
Fighting games get delayed all the time.
I think hold off and see, because I'm not sure Frame by Frame are going to be relatively vigilant in terms of dropping games.
The thing is it's like it's not actually like any sort of confirmation. The only reason that it's in 2023 is because it was an earnings call.
Yeah.
For 2023 for the company.
David Zaslav was like, "Hey, later this year, we've got Suicide Squad coming out and Mortal Kombat 12."
I thought the last financial No, that doesn't make sense. Doesn't the
Yeah,
last actually no,
so
I think what I'm saying
they
doesn't make
they
sense.
probably lie on those
Doesn't
a
the
lot.
last financial quarter, like financial quarters don't align with the calendar year.
They don't know.
So doesn't a certain quarter of the financial calendar run from December into January, or is that not the case?
Yeah, it's like December through. Wait, no, it's not December. I can't remember the exact time frame, but
I'm
it's
asking if
through
there's
like.
because if that's the case, technically a financial quarter that might be this year would still technically run into 2024.
Wait, isn't it December through March or something like that? I can't remember. But yeah, you're totally right. It could
So
totally
then,
not come out.
right. So if it's on an
But
earnings call, it would still be in the financial quarter for 2023. But in fantasy critic terms, it wouldn't be this year.
yeah, I mean, we do
I
still
just
have
looked
2
it up.
counter picks.
Okay. Yes, ma'am.
I just looked it up. Mortal Kombat 11 was seemingly announced on the 7th of December 2018. So that was at the Game Awards. I remember that. And then it was released on April 23rd the next year. So that's what? Just over
Like
4
timeline
months.
wise.
No, that's unfortunate.
Okay.
So it is possible, but it hasn't even been revealed yet. So we'll see.
Oh no, it looks like the 4 financial quarters don't go from December to the financial quarters October to December, January to March, April to June, July to September. So they don't go through the new year. Dang.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Anyway,
To keep an eye out on that. I can't believe they snuck in and got that.
talk a little bit about Returnal. Unfortunate news about Returnal. So Returnal is one of the Sony's weakest launches on PC so far. So the roguelike shooter Returnal has so far achieved under 7,000 concurrent players on Steam during its first weekend. That's not good, guys, according to Steam database. For comparison, the only game in recent Sony PC catalog history to have performed worse is Sackboy Big Adventure, which managed just 610 at its peak for concurrent players. That's rough. Sony's other PC ports have performed far better, with God of War 2018 leading the pack at around 74,000 concurrent players, Marvel Spider-Man at 66,000, Horizon Zero Dawn at 56,000, and Days Gone at 28,000. It's worth noting that while Returnal debuted to a strong critical reception and was lauded with industry awards in the year following its release, it's a significantly smaller IP than, of course, God of War or Spider-Man. Additionally, some of Sony's larger IPs have seemingly failed to make a large splash on PC, like Uncharted Legacy of Thieves Collection managed a similarly low 10,851 concurrent player count during its debut weekend, despite being a far larger IP than Returnal. From Jordan Middler at VGC, I think this is just par for the course. If you're releasing a lot of games on PC, it mirrors in a lot of ways the relative popularity that you would see on the console. Of course, they are 2 different markets, but it doesn't take an industry-leading analyst to know that Horizon or God of War would be doing a lot better than Returnal just based on brand recognition.
Yeah.
Granted, Uncharted Legacy of Thieves being that low player count does have me a bit stumped. But yeah, what do you guys think?
I bet Returnal looks so sexy on PC. I'm not even gonna lie about
Just
it.
go buy it on PC, Bree, just like you bought a
I'm
new
really
Switch.
tempted. I'm really tempted, but I'm not.
You got no
gonna.
rent? Yeah.
That's true. I do not have rent right now. So
Not for long.
not for long.
Corporate America, you're going to get Bree's money. Don't you worry. Well, unless you rent from a private owner, which would be ideal. Maybe not. Anyway, back on topic. What do you guys think?
To be expected. I'm not surprised in the slightest. I think, it said in the story there that you mentioned it's a much smaller IP. I would argue it's probably the most niche genre out of any of the PC ports thus far as well. And not only that, I think some of the sort of not baggage is the wrong word, but there's sort of a set expectation that Returnal is going to not only be a roguelike third-person shooter, which is kind of niche in and of itself, unique in a way, I guess, or more unique than other genres, but still niche. I think the difficulty of Returnal isn't in its favor. I think a lot of people will see that Returnal is coming out on PC, look it up, see tons of discussion about how hard it is, how tons of people dropped it before completing it, that kind of thing, and maybe that dissuades them from buying it. And like looking at one of the lower ones besides Sackboy, like Days Gone at 28,000. Obviously, that's far higher than Returnal got, but I would argue that even Days Gone, as critically sort of beleaguered as it was, had more unique stuff to it than Returnal did, in the sense of the horde mechanic within Days Gone. And I can imagine that a lot of people probably picked up Days Gone on PC thinking that not only would it run better because it didn't run great at launch on PS4, but also that stuff like the hordes would probably run a lot smoother. Maybe there will be more zombies, that kind of thing. I just think that there's not a whole lot of stuff within Returnal that would be enticing for people outside of the PlayStation ecosystem, because it is about the haptics. It's about stuff like that within the controller, that integration. I think I love Returnal. I platinumed it, but even I would say that take away that stuff, and you do have a relatively generic shooter, all things considered. So I'd like to see it higher. I think it deserves higher than that. I wish everybody tried out Returnal, but that's not going to be the case, especially because it's a game that technically isn't first party, or wasn't when it was released. You know, I think that all the other games have a lot of renown because they are coming from historied PlayStation developers.
Are you telling
and
me
as much as
Resogun doesn't handle the same prestige as God of War?
look, they're on a relatively level playing field, but I think God of War might just edge it out. I'm sorry to say. That's my personal opinion. You feel free to disagree.
Denied.
But
Wrong.
you know, Housemarque, insanely talented. Anybody that has played any of their games knows that. I just think that instead of Naughty Dog or Santa Monica or Insomniac name being attached, some people that aren't already in the PlayStation ecosystem might see, oh, this is a game from PlayStation. Who's it made by? Housemarque, never really heard of them before. Oh, they made these other weird side-scrolly shooter top-down thing, and I'm not sure this is going to be for me. And then so that's my opinion.
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think my initial thought was that like the PC seems to be like, especially because they have integrated haptic like feedback and stuff for the controller integration for PC. So you still get that experience and all of that. So I think that like my initial thought was that PC is probably now the ideal way to play the game, especially with all of like the lighting and graphics stuff that the PC would really allow for. But after listening to you talk about it, yeah, that makes sense. Bummer.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
Can't all be winners.
Can't all be winners.
You guys are all winners.
Nope. I am not. Bree, you want to talk about Harry
Do
Potter?
There you go.
Harry Potter. Harry Potter.
Yes. There may be a Hogwarts Legacy TV show in the early stages of development at HBO Max. This is according to sources cited by Giant Freakin' Robot, an entertainment news site with some track record of exclusive reporting. It claims the series is still early in the early phases of development, but that like Warner's recently released Hogwarts Legacy game, it will presumably be set before the original novels and the Fantastic Beasts spinoffs. VGC contacted Warner for comment on this report, but have not heard back from the company. This is from Tom Ivan at VGC.
Oh yeah, I saw one of the Fantastic Beasts movies. I think it was Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Such a bad movie.
The first one, I thought it was like fine for like a cheesy film. Like it didn't feel like Harry Potter. It felt very much like cheesy.
Someone with no connection to the franchise. I'm like, what am I watching? Like, why are you guys waving your wands around?
I think what really upset me was I think it was the second movie
That's
where
a pretty
they just started...
fundamental stumbling block to fall over there, Taylor. Why are they waving wands around?
No, I really liked crap, what was it called? Chamber of Secrets and Prisoner of Azkaban. I've only watched the
Goblet
first 3
of
Harry
Fire
Potter.
is the best one. We all know.
I've only watched the
this.
first 3 Harry Potter films.
Harry Potter.
What is happening? I love Harry Potter.
I did play Goblet of Fire on Game Boy Advance. Sorry. Anyway.
No, you're good.
Hell yeah.
I think that getting a Harry Potter TV show would be really cool.
Of course you would.
Of course I would. Might not be the best idea, but you do you, boo. You know?
I mean, it's a loaded thing, isn't it? Like with the IP.
Yeah. Yeah.
but like if you are sort of not intentionally, but sort of just stepping back and looking at the wide scale thing of it, Warner Brothers being a business, Hogwarts Legacy sold what 12 million copies in 2 weeks, made like
That's
so
nothing.
much money.
Pokemon's got 20 million in like 6 days. I wish I was joking.
Stop it. Shush.
Okay.
We're talking about Pokemon now. Hey,
Pokemon.
Okay, hang on. Let's bring this full circle. You just trashed a film where they are all about capturing wild beasts, okay? And now you're bringing Pokemon into the mix, where it's just the same thing over and over and
Jurassic
over
Park
again.
is
Am I
arguably
right?
Pokemon.
Okay,
Yeah.
real question for you guys. Did they name the Pokemon after what they said, or did the Pokemon say their names after they were named?
It's conditioning.
I think, they named the Pokemon
that's
and
my name now.
What they call them, and then they assume that it's like when you're naming a child.
No, because like
Learned
Pikachu
behavior.
says Pikachu, and babies don't say their names.
No, because Ash kept Pikachu isn't a baby. First of all, Pichu would be the actual baby, and Ash told Pikachu its name.
It was like you're Pikachu, and then it was like Pikachu.
Like if when you're growing up as a kid, you don't refer.
Wait, but then what about all the Pikachus in the wild?
Are there Pikachus in the wild that say Pika?
There's like a hive mind.
They domesticated. There are traits
all Pikachus telepathically communicate with
No.
Okay,
there
but like
evolutionary traits that domestication, through domestication, micro evolutionary changes, and I feel like that might be one of them.
I can say with 100% certainty that Luna has never said cat.
Because she's not a fantasy creature from another universe, and cats don't
Not
say.
That you've heard.
The only animal I know that can say discernible words to humans is like birds.
Yeah.
Maybe a few monkeys somewhere or other primates.
Okay.
But birds are really the main ones, right? Like,
here's what's really cracks me up about that is that there are scientists in the Pokemon world going around and they're like, Pikachu, write that down. They just like heard what they said.
If you're an evolutionary biologist, any observation that seems relevant to get to information about the animal, you're writing it down. Like anything,
right?
It could be the way it walks, the way.
But
it
that's
looks,
just how they're like
sounds it
naming
makes.
all these Pokemon, like all of them.
Well, look at how birds chirp. Like
not all.
There are very specific ways that scientists know. Oh, when if they were to hear this chirp on a radio, oh, this is definitely this bird, or it's definitely not this bird. Sorry, species. I shouldn't say individual bird to individual bird, but they are able to tell species just from the way the bird talks, chirps.
Right.
So that's not out of bounds.
Okay, cool.
My cat would.
Anyway, getting back to this, this Hogwarts Legacy show.
Conversation.
I think that obviously, talking about the sales of the game doing incredibly well, it's obvious that there is still, profit to be made at the end of the day in the IP. That can be a good or a bad thing depending on where you're standing. It's muddy, but I would say if you are going to do anything with the Harry Potter IP, I think a TV show as opposed to films would be the right thing to do, at least for the time being. Give films a break, because Fantastic Beasts, Taylor and Pride didn't go all that well.
They're going to remake Lord of the Rings.
Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
I don't think they're remaking it. I think they said that they're doing new films. But I could be wrong.
Even still, Just don't.
Yeah, no,
taint
you're
it.
not. Yeah,
Don't ruin it.
exactly.
But as much as there were a couple of like problematic elements within the narrative of Hogwarts Legacy, which are pretty widely known, I think that there are, I won't go into spoilers, but there are other plot points within Hogwarts Legacy that I think would work really well in a serialized format. I think there is a really interesting story that you can tell, devoid of any controversy, within the show itself. I will clarify. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense. They want to continue to profit off the IP, and the game did incredibly well. And you kind of, if you want to sort of chart a path forward for the IP in the future, you kind of need to not do what Star Wars did, and they need to separate themselves from the other films as much as possible. You know, make it something new, something completely different, rather than trying to rely on, you know, tried and true things.
Yeah.
Because that's where tedium kicks in. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes, if it happens at all.
Yeah. If it happens at all. Exactly. I don't know. I think I would probably watch it. I like Harry Potter, so
Cool.
I'd give it a go.
Guys,
especially because it's HBO Max.
Hey, don't just do
Yeah.
because it's look. What was it? Mindy Kaling's show Velma on HBO Max.
Ah, that's true.
Bree.
That's
The
true.
greatest show in the past 10
Oh my
years,
god!
right?
What a way to tank your
Yeah.
reputation overnight. Jesus Christ. I just got a notification, by the way, that my TV is ready for pickup.
Woo!
So next time I'm on this podcast, you probably won't see anything. Hopefully, there's going to be some posters and stuff behind me soon. I plan to hang things. Maybe it'll be Goku behind me, or some other interest that I have. Maybe a basketball picture. Maybe a picture of Bree's cat.
I mean, I will send you pictures if you want.
Yeah.
She's very cute.
But anyway, the news done and out of the way. It is now, we're at 1 minute 22 seconds. About
Again,
1 minute 22 minutes, about 20 seconds into the show. Now we're going to talk about The Last of Us TV show.
We're only 1 minute into the show. Oh my god!
Yeah.
I say 1
Time
minute.
flies. You did.
Yeah, it does.
God.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Anyway, for this point in the show, we're going to talk about spoilies for Last of Us TV show. I
5 and
finally
6.
saw episodes 5 and episode 6 between last night and finished up episode 6 this morning before the show.
So proud of you. How much did you cry at episode 5? Because
I didn't cry.
literally, I sobbed. Because I knew it was coming too, so I just sat and cried.
Oh, yeah, I knew it was coming. That was a sense of dread. I wish I wasn't feeling, but I don't cry because society conditions gender norms for me to not show that kind of emotion.
Well, it's good to have a good cry sometimes.
Speaking of gender norms, I felt like I should I really felt like, I shouldn't be in here when I was going to buy skincare products yesterday, because I'm like, I shouldn't be in here. This isn't like seriously running through my head. It's like, this isn't something a man needs to worry about, Taylor. Just leave the aisle. Part of it was expectation. Part of it was embarrassment. And I'm like, God, I hate society for making me feel this way. But I still did it.
I'm so proud of you.
I'm the Terminator. Baby. I'm the Joker, baby.
Skincare stuff is so fun.
All right. Anyway, Last of Us episode 5. I think that was the best episode thus far.
I think I agree.
Wait,
episode 3.
No, episode 3 is
Bill and Frank got me in the spleen. Yeah. So
yeah,
episode 5 is like the second best, I think, so far.
Yeah,
for me.
Okay,
I would concur.
I thought Kathleen was an interesting character with the little time we got with her.
Her actress was outstanding, and I know they're all outstanding.
I recognize
I
her
think
from
she
something
just
else.
played her.
Yeah.
She's
Yellow Jackets.
So well, so good. What was I saying? I really loved the context that they added to that city, and the way that they really added to it. I don't know. I enjoyed that. It definitely wasn't in the game, but I was happy about it. And also,
Yeah.
I was so excited. I was like almost like screaming with the bloater. I was like, yes.
Oh yeah, the bloater was great. It felt like, in a way, it kind of felt like Bane coming out of the ground. It's just this huge burly ripping apart people. Kathleen's first, call it her Kathleen's right hand man, Kathleen's right hand soldier, just got ripped apart by the bloater into two. Oh man. Oh, I will say, the stalker falling into the car Ellie was in, that was great.
That was a clicker.
Especially because it was a little kid.
I think it was a stalker.
Was it a stalker?
I want to say
No, it was a clicker. It was a little.
Yeah, it was a
little
clicker.
clicker,
What?
little clicker.
We haven't seen stalkers.
It's
Not in their traditional form, anyway.
because
No.
we passed the point. The hotel
Unless
basement part of the
they've essentially sort of just retrofitted
yeah.
stalkers into the general infected, which I think is probably what they've done.
So the hotel
Just to
basement,
streamline it.
yeah, the hotel basement generator bloater issue. We've already passed that point where that would have happened in the game, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they just didn't do that in the show, unfortunately. That was the scariest part of the game for me. Finding the keys to this generator, I was petrified with the stalkers there in the game. I was
Every
like,
single time I replay that section, I clench things I didn't know I could clench. You know, it's it's rough.
oh yeah, oh yeah. Sam, your TV went off.
Hey, I'm building suspense.
doing its
Just before
best.
we go off air, it's going to be something that jumps out behind me, or it's going to
Okay.
turn back on, and there's going to be a shadow there. So,
Anyway, what do you guys think of episode 5? Huh? You guys like it?
It was good. It was really good. Besides the like literally like sobbing.
Oh my god,
But-
get over yourself. You played the game. Just kidding. Don't listen to me. That's what toxic masculinity is, folks. Don't do that.
Don't do that.
Did you know though, Taylor, that who
I know what you're about to
the
say.
right-hand man is? The right-hand man is of Kathleen.
Your mom. Ooh.
That's true. He is.
Wait, who is this? Some actor who I don't know who? Who is it?
It
His
is
name's Jeffrey Pierce.
I mean, go on, Bree. Tell him.
It is the voice actor for Tommy.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Yep. He got a
I just didn't recognize that during the show.
If you go back and listen to an episode, you'll catch it immediately.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be like, oh yeah, that's Tommy's voice. Even though Gabrielle Luna does do a really good job of sounding like Tommy, when you hear Jeffrey Pierce,
you hear
it's like,
Tommy,
it's yeah.
Does he also had roles on TV, or is this more of just like a cameo for him to get some screen time as a love letter to the game?
No, he's not like prolific or anything.
Most actors aren't
in any space, but he is primarily TV, I think.
Okay.
And he has done a fair amount of voice acting roles, but I think this is probably one of the most high profile shows he's done.
Right.
I could be wrong. I haven't really looked into it, but I certainly haven't seen him in anything else. But then I don't have any American networks or anything. Or shows, really, so much so.
I found where I knew Kathleen from, by the way. It's from Ever After. She's one of the stepsisters in Ever After.
That is also true.
Oh, okay.
Very long time ago.
Talking about Tommy, in episode 6, was it just me or the whole section where Joel and Ellie go visit Tommy's community? That wasn't in the first game, right? This is all new. Tommy and Maria, was that a thing?
It kind of is, because in the game it's at
I just forgot so much of the game. I haven't played in such a long time.
In the game, it's at the dam
Mm-hmm.
where they're all set up because they're restoring power in the dam where Joel and Ellie turn up.
Okay.
So they kind of like retroactively made it so that Jackson as a community is already set up here, whereas we only see it right at the beginning of part 2.
I was going to say, was that the same community in part 2? It looked really similar.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So because we meet Maria as well in the dam.
All right.
I think we actually meet Maria first, so that kind of plays out the same way. Not the same way, but
another question I have: do you think maybe there was a girl who was kind of staring at
100%
when she was visiting? Was
Oh,
that Dina?
absolutely. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was trending on Twitter too.
Oh, I didn't. I don't use Twitter, so I'm just really smart. Okay.
No, what like without over doubt.
That's cool.
And even more so than her just kind of looking a bit like Dina, and the fact that they, drew attention to it. I can't remember whether it was Craig Mazin or just one of the other producers, but they said specifically, or they made the suggestion that was like, when in Last of Us Part 2, Dina and Ellie do speak about how they first met, and I guess it does sound kind of similar to what you saw, yeah. So it's Dina, which is cool. Like I like that.
I know. I love
think
all these little tiny things that they're adding to the show. It shows so much love and care.
Shimmer as well, the horse.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
I noticed that
introducing the
as
horse
well.
at
I
that
was
point,
like, wait, isn't that her horse?
I didn't know that.
which again, it's gonna hurt my heart even more in season 2, assuming things play out the same way, of being like, oh, there's this cute little fawn that's like, oh, it's a cute little horse called
horse.
Shimmer, and then it's gonna get, spoilers, blown up soon enough. Yeah, I vibed with it a lot. I really liked pretty much everything about episode 6. I think it laid a lot of groundwork. I think not only just this episode in isolation, but this episode coupled with everything that's come before, I think has done a better job than the game of setting up the heel turn that Joel takes at the end, sort of kind of justifying his decision or his mindset that makes him make the decision that he does. I think the show has done a better job of setting that up as a thing than the game did. The game implies it, obviously. But because we don't see Joel, or haven't yet seen him really be that bad of a person, I think it's just going to make it, for people who don't know what's coming, going to make the finale, without saying anything too specific, just in case, it's going to make that ending hit a lot harder. The final lines of the show.
Yeah, definitely not spoiling, because I'm assuming my mom's watching this and she's watching the show and doesn't know what happens in the game. So
yeah. I mean, it was pretty obvious by this point that also, even though Joel said what he said to Ellie about, damn as well, right straight from the game, right? Damn as sure, something like, I'm damn well sure you ain't my daughter, and I'm damn sure I ain't your dad, or that sort of thing. Or sorry, you get the point. That quote from the game, I probably just misquoted. I probably said, I ain't your daughter. Obviously, Joel's not Ellie. Anyway, that quote, they surprised at that verbatim. I was expecting the bunny archery shot when they ran into the Native American family with the bow. In the game where it's just a cute little bunny, then boom. They don't do that in the show, but
yeah, when they switched to winter for the first time.
Yeah, but also after Joel, I don't know, it was really obvious. Even though Joel said what he said with the dad-daughter quote, the second they were out practicing shooting together on the asshole mannequin, they literally just labeled the word asshole on that. They're approaching, a very father-daughter level of connection and love by this point.
And I don't know whether I'm digging too much into it, but my screenwriter brain went like, "Ooh!" when I heard another line. When they walk over the hill and they first see the dam, Joel is like, Ellie's like, "Oh, so this used to produce power or whatever," and Joel's like, "Yeah." And then Joel looks at her and he's like, "Don't ask me how it works. I don't know." And as they're walking away, Ellie says, "Oh, well, you could have said anything. I would have believed you." I'm like,
well,
it's true.
That's a really good line. That's a really
good line.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Like that is really, really subtle, and I don't know whether I feel like it's intentional, because everything else in the show,
everything has been so intentional. There's no way it's not.
I'm like, Ellie saying that, it means something. Put it that way.
Yeah, she's scared as hell. She's a
So
scared kid.
good.
No
So
matter
good.
what front she puts up as trying to be some badass who has together,
Mm-hmm.
she is like she said it herself. Going along with I believe you. She said everyone I've known has either died or left me. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Ellie is so emotionally desperate. It's pretty obvious she would, believe anything. Joe
Can't
has to say.
relate.
All right. We're all a little emotionally broken inside,
A little.
except for Kevin,
You take that back.
whose girlfriend makes great meals for him, and they live together.
It's okay,
And
Taylor. It's fine. It's fine.
they
Safe
have a
space. Safe
townhouse.
space.
Don't
I'm
worry, I'll
jealous.
crochet you a fish that'll fix everything.
I want to go to Kevin's house and force him to cook me something while his girlfriend watches in disgust.
Some people are into that kind of thing,
Oh
maybe
God.
try it.
Go on
Yeah.
Fiverr. Yeah.
Yeah.
Get people to $5, just boom. Anyway, episodes 5 and 6, really solid. Of course, episode
We
6
gotta
finishes
go.
with.
We got a thing to record, and you got a timeline.
Oh yeah. Well, last thing I'll say is episode 6, rather than Joel falling on a rusty pole that goes through his abdomen, he's stabbed with a knife. And I thought that was an okay substitution to make.
Yeah.
I was kind of looking forward to Joel falling out a window, but
I
oh
mean,
well.
in budget, you know what I mean? They probably couldn't afford
Oh
that.
right, budget, of course. Anyway, awesome episodes. Excited to see episode 7. And before we record our post show, patrons or listeners, this post show and all other post shows for our Save the Game Media family of podcasts are only available through being a patron at patreon.com/Save the Game Media. We're gonna go record that soon, but before we do, I want to say thank you so much for listening. And remember, you can find us at youtube.com/Save the Game Media and Patreon, like I just said. And check out the Discord. Once again, links are all in the description. And where can people find you, Bree?
You can find me at Fabulous Brianna, FABULISTBREANNA.
Of course. What about you, Sam H. Aney?
H. Aney. That's a new one. People can find me on Twitter at Sam Heaney. That's HEANEY.
Did you watch last week's episode, Sam?
I did. I'm forgetting things in
Okay, so you
furthers,
did see. Did you see like the ending that Taylor and I did?
Yes, I saw.
Okay.
I saw.
All right, thanks.
Taylor,
All right.
wait, where can people find you?
Oh yeah, Discord. Don't on Twitter. And thanks you all so much for listening. And until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.